the whole thing about Stand By Me, that people are saying it is like Stand By Me, and you think it can't be like Stand By Me, but obviously you watch it just to see if it compares and what it does, and it did it exactly right. It is exactly like Stand By Me, and you get a sense that these characters are real and they're new and they're not copying stuff, which is good because generally you get a lot of similar things, and similar things can be quite annoying sometimes. So it's nice to have originality. Um, because I feel like sometimes you get some movies that you get all the stuff you had before and you don't get anything new. But I like movies generally. I think a lot of them are good. And I think this is a great one. I think there's a lot of interesting stuff in there. There's lots of great originality that, usually originality you don't get in some movies. And I think it uses it to its own benefit in that some stuff you haven't seen before. And the way that this is told is different to Stand By Me in that they weren't obviously out doing what these kids are doing, but obviously it's a similar thing. Um, but right off the bat, I really love the central performance for Nick Robinson. I think he is fantastic and clearly going to be a heartthrob for lots of women in years to come. And I think it just even does sort of hint to that, even when obviously there's a moment of his sister goes, "You're getting cute." It's like kind of thing. So he's like reacting like but maybe he's not quite to up to getting that right now, being I don't know 16, 15 years old as the character is. But in years to come, I think definitely they'll definitely have something there, and he'll probably be more to it. But anyway, getting back on track. So we have him. We have the guy from Super 8. Oh, I'm like, oh my god, what has happened to him? He's like aged like half a decade, which is quite surprising. He's really great in this movie, and so's Nick Robinson. Obviously, I've already described as being a fantastic central performance. Also, we have Baggio. Is it Baggio? I can't remember exactly what his name was. It's a crazy name. He is insane, and I think insane in the good way. He is Eric Cartman. You're not really sure if you completely understand him as a person and how he ticks, but he's there for the laugh factor. He is the awkward sort of sensibility. People who don't really want to hang out with that kind of person, but to watch on screen, he is quite fun, and I did take to it. I mean, I definitely I wouldn't hang out with him as a person, obviously, because he is just crazy, and says and does things that are outrageous, but outrageous in a good way. And I have to say, given that these are mainly new people that I'd never seen before, I thought they did great work in this. And I also thought it was funny that they had the sort of not like Southern guy, but in terms of them all being American, you have the one guy who obviously isn't in place. So like we're like in the north and then like in the south kind of thing where this guy is of he's just making everyone feel awkward, even more awkward than the guy who's like Eric Cartman. You have sort of like there's obviously a thing go between Joe's sister and this guy, and it's just crazy. And Joe's father is hell bent on being mean and horrible when the film starts, and you just think, go away. But I think what's great is that you get a sense that people can relate to it, and then when people get too like involved in someone's life, it's annoying. And I think that's what they're trying to show, that there's this sense of disconnect that families feel this need to be around their children, and then they have like a weird relationship, like obviously we have with the guy from Super 8, and he doesn't like his parents and finds them really weird, and they start offering soup and weird things and acting bizarrely, and it's crazy. Um, but as a movie, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought there was very good use of humor in it. I thought the humor was, it was very, very well done. And I think it wasn't overdone. Like when there's like jokes in movies, and then they sort of do a punchline. It gets yeah, bit flat. It actually had a sense of you understood where it was coming from. Like you understood it was going to be a joke, but it worked. It's not like an Adam Sandler movie, which is just like, oh man, it actually worked, which is nice because you want to laugh and you want to have a fun time. And I definitely had a fun time, and it took me back to the thought of Stand By Me, but obviously you see it differently. That those were kids being young kids, and these are kids who are older, but they invoke a young quality that they can mess around and have fun and do stuff that normally they're not allowed to do because they have restraints and control. But it's great to see them having fun, and I like that. I mean, it's a fun sensibility of seeing people enjoy themselves, and there's like a funny montage of them doing a bunch of stuff in the forest, and I won't go into spoilers on that front, but it was definitely amusing. And it's done in a way that it's not copying Stand By Me, but making it different and new for a new audience. And I think that's the right thing you have to keep in mind. And I think also that this director hasn't really made a movie before, so now he's going to be more popular and people are going to take notice and big things are going to come his way. If they don't, then the person who is rejecting him is an idiot. But I really enjoyed this movie. I think it's one of the best movies of 2013. I think there have been good movies this year, but I don't think there have been as many movies as last year so far. Um, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think it's a really good film. I think people will love it and relate to it and get it and understand where it's coming from. It doesn't have like a misguided message of, oh yeah, well, this thing and that thing, as you get with some movies like Adam Sandler movies of that's my boy, and yeah, I won't go into that because we already know based on my review. But that never had a good message. Oh, several bad messages, but we'll never go into that ever again. Um, but yeah, I really like this movie. I think it's a really good time. I think it's got a lot of great promise to become a cult classic for years to come. It could go on for 25 years, 50 years, 75 years, long after I'm dead. I don't know. I mean, I don't really mind how long that will last because I think it's universally a great movie, and I really, really enjoy this movie. And I don't really have anything else to say other than I really enjoyed it, and it was great.